Got 1,000 things in my pockets. I don't like to litter, so I just cram things into my pockets.
Same.
My wife's like, "What is in your pockets?" And there's no worse feeling than having stuff crammed in your pockets. You're like, "What is all of this?"
Getting what you need out in between all the other stuff.
Hi, John.
How you doing, Blake?
Good. How are you, buddy?
Can't complain, man.
You could if you were, but you're too polite. You could complain that I've had you waiting for almost an hour. So I appreciate your patience.
Oh, no worries, dude. I enjoy my time here at Hakuna Macava.
Thanks, bro.
One of my favorite kava bars out of all of them in South Florida. So
thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, it just seems like I can never, even if I like prepare to leave the house with plenty of time, I can never get out of the house. It's like wrangling cats between the dogs and myself. So I appreciate your patience.
No problem, Blake.
We've been wanting to do this for a while now. I'm so glad to have you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Or on, I think podcast is maybe a little generous on this conversation that we have in Hakuna. Bula, brother.
Bula.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, don't feel obligated to drink it all at once.
Yeah, no.
We got plenty of time.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you and I have known each other now for, probably 7 months. I feel like you and your dad came in pretty early when we opened.
Yes.
And I remember, so I owned a business before this, and we would have a lot of people come to the door with a product to sell. And the business that we owned before this, it was like, oh, here we go again, right? So not to your fault, but because of what I had dealt with up to that point, you guys come in, you've got notebooks and stuff, and I'm like, oh, here we go. But after about 30 seconds, I realized, wait, there's something different happening here. And I'm so appreciative that you guys walked in the door, because your products have changed my life personally. And incredibly positively impacted our business.
Beautiful.
So I just wanted to start by saying that, so why don't we start with you saying who you are and what it is that you do?
Yes. So I'm Jonathan Rosenbaum.
Right up in the mic if you don't mind, buddy. There you go.
I'm Jonathan Rosenbaum with Poseidon's Botanicals. We are a full spectrum, all organic hemp company that you can rely on. That where all our products are all monitored. We make sure that there's no impurities in our product. We take very good pride in our product. We stem ourselves away from all the other different companies because we see what they're doing, and it's not okay. There's some harmful ingredients being put into some of the products, which 90% of the customers are going to use it probably to the day that they die. So we want to make sure that, whatever we provide and to the community, to the customers, that it's going to be safe for them, long-term use. Because even into some dispensaries, unfortunately, they're using propylene glycol in their topicals, especially in their joint muscle cream. And propylene glycol is antifreeze. And that being said, it can shut down your kidneys long-term use. And I don't want to have somebody using something that's supposed to be good for them and then have it harm them long-term use.
Yeah, I understand that. It's a shame. It seems that this is pretty standard for our country. That the products that we use on a daily basis that we assume are safe and healthy for us are far from it. And it's a shame that, we're kind of in the Wild West of the medical marijuana, phase of what we're going through. And I thank God every day that we are progressing to where that, marijuana is not, putting people in mandatory minimum sentencing for the most part. But it's a shame that in what we think is going to be our plant medicine, that there is all sorts of stuff that shouldn't be in there. Do you think that's because you'll have to excuse my ignorance on a lot of these topics. Do you think that is because of lack of regulation, or is it a profit over people thing? Why are these products ending up in plant medicine or these chemicals?
I would have to say, I would have to say both. The quality control is not there. It's a money maker. So there's companies who are watering down their products with who knows what. So like for instance, the gummies.
Those are my favorite. You guys have seen me eat the gummies on the podcast several times. They are fantastic. I was afraid of weed for a couple years because it was making me way too high and unenjoyable. This has allowed me to enjoy marijuana again. These are the Delta 8 gummies. Highly recommended. We sell them here. Please continue.
Yes. So, for instance, to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, a lot of gummies in the market, they have high fructose corn syrup, which is one of the biggest cancer-causing agents that you could ever consume.
Yeah.
And it's in a lot of things, not only gummies, but if you look on a packet of Oreos, it's in there too.
High fructose corn syrup.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
It's an artificial sweetener.
It's more of I believe it's more of a carrier. I really haven't done too much research on it. I just know that it's not
good.
Not good to be consumed.
And there's none of that in here.
No, sir. We use all natural organic ingredients. It's 100% plant-based.
That's
so
fantastic.
There's no gelatin. We use a fruit pectin. Even our coloring, even the colorings in today's foods, candies. I'm sure if you looked on like a pack of Sour Patch Kids, you'll look on the bottom and you'll see like yellow 40, red 20, all those things.
Yeah.
Can cause autism, all different types of learning disorders, mental developments.
My brother-in-law, what's up, Bruce? Love you, bud. Has a severe allergy. Maybe that's a light explanation of it to red 40. I don't remember exactly what his symptoms are when he takes red 40, but I think he's had to go to the hospital multiple times because a product had red 40 in it, and I think it's in everything.
It's in everything that you see. Most foods, most candy, snacks, and things of those sorts. I mean, we like to make sure that we use, whatever we make for the public and what we sell, we make sure that we use what Mother Nature has given us.
Yeah, I love that.
We use for our coloring in all our gummies is a vegetable or fruit extraction. So it's coming from a real source.
That's the coloring?
Yes.
A fruit extract or
it's a
vegetable
fruit
extract.
or vegetable, yes.
Interesting.
So it gives it that coloring that makes it look yummy and it makes it look to the consumer eyes, but it's not harmful to your system. It's just it's very simple. It's just a lot of the companies are just in it to just make a profit.
Absolutely. My friend Nicole, Nicole, calls that profit over people. And it's common.
Yeah, and I believe in making a profit, and there's good ways of making profits. And
that's right.
Me, that's not. It's just like good karma and bad karma. I believe that there's.
Yeah, you can't lay your head down every
services.
night knowing that you could be potentially harming people, especially when your initial goal is to help people.
Yes, and there'd be no way I could sleep.
Well, I am a huge advocate of Poseidon Botanicals, but I'm also a huge fan of you and your father. You guys are amazing gentlemen.
Thank you.
And I think you have a very interesting story.
Yes.
And I was wondering if we could maybe dive into that a bit.
Sure.
So why don't you tell us a bit about your background and how, where you started, where I think your dad owned a pet store.
Yes.
Is that right? And
Yes.
where was that pet store?
That was in Rochester, New York, in West Irondequoit.
And what time? I mean, what year? What time frame?
It was late. It was actually before 2007, so I'll say early 2000s.
Okay, so you're in New York, and then you jump in here, and just the story as you know it. You lived it.
Yeah. So I grew. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. I was moved to Rochester, New York at a very young age. At that time, around the age of 8 years old, I noticed that I was having difficulty in school, paying attention, trying to focus in class, just doing everything that everybody else is doing. And my parents saw it, the school saw it, and back in the late 1990s, There wasn't there was no such, I mean, there was CBD around, but it was underground. It wasn't like today. My mom thought something was wrong with me. The school thought something was wrong with me, so they diagnosed me with a whole bunch of different learning disorders. I was supposedly Asperger's, autism. I was supposedly MR, which is mentally retarded.
What?
I was.
This is the problem with our education system and the systems in our country. We are constantly trying to diagnose young kids with, dude, you were hyperactive and you were not challenged, and you needed to be ran like a fucking hyper dog. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
you needed to get rid of your energy.
Correct.
And have something that challenged you and was
Correct.
fun and engaging.
Yes.
And instead, for whatever reason, dude, I was put on Ritalin too. I was put on Ritalin at a very young age. And some of our parents thought was like, well, I'm medicated, so my kid probably needs to be medicated.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I hate to cut you off,
No,
but
no.
it infuriates me. And it's happening more and more. It still happens to this day.
It's happening to this day. And, my mom did the best that she could with what she had. As I got older, I lost holding that grudge. But I realized that being a parent, now that I'm an adult, it doesn't come with a rule book.
That's right.
You just go as the best as you can and think what you can do for the best for your kid.
Yeah.
So my mom did the best. I was put on a whole bunch of medication. I was put on about 12 different medications.
What age?
8 years old.
Yeah.
Very young. Come to learn that the average human brain doesn't fully develop till the age of 28. So I was 20 years, behind on that.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's why I'm here to advocate for other people and families and children of, other families as well. But with the medications that I was taking had adverse effects. I was hallucinating. I thought I could fly. I swore I saw Jesus. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Maybe it was the medications. I don't know.
Really?
But I was Baker acted about 3 times.
As a young boy?
As a young kid. I actually spent my birthday in a hospital, away from my family and parents because the medications were just not working for me.
Ugh.
And so fast forward a little bit down the road,
Yeah.
when I was about 13, I was, riding my bike home from school, and I saw this amazing pet store. And it wasn't Petco, it wasn't PetSmart, it was a very different pet store. And I walked in, and it was just like, ooh, this is cool. Pretty much, I spent all my days after school there.
That was like your after-school program.
That was my
the pet
after-school program. I used to associate with kids that weren't good people to be hanging out with, bad influences.
Yep.
And I found good people to influence me and help change my life. And my dad opened that store. It was like a saving grace. At that point. So, unfortunately, we did have to sell that pet store because my grandmother was sick down here in South Florida. So we sold the store, moved everything down here, as well as myself, and we started from scratch. And that at that time, I was 350 pounds.
Wait, what?
350 pounds with the medications, heavily sedated. I didn't have a life. I don't even remember half of my childhood.
Really? I had no idea that you were 350 pounds.
Yeah, my dad's a big fellow, and my shirts were like what they call a muumuu, like the long, like what the old women wear. The long.
Holy shit!
It was
John.
a big shirt. So that being said, my dad and I were running out of funds. We were trying to figure out what to do. And we stumbled across a CBD company in Miami, and I tried some of their product. Now, with the amount of medications that I was on, hard to feel anything. I don't even remember feeling love, or compassion, or feeling anything. I remember feeling mostly numb. But this was the first time in my life since the age of 8 years old I've been able to feel a sense of calm, peace, and just feeling centered emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And I'm like, Dad, wow, like this is something we should probably hop on board with. So I told my dad, I says, dude, let's just try, let's just try this. Now at that time we were in the midst of opening up a salt therapy store, which is a natural holistic way of, helping with respiratory problems such as asthma, allergies, COPD, cystic fibrosis. And I thought it would be a nice little add-on to the store, to promote health and wellness.
So this was a place that you would go to and get salt therapy.
Correct.
Through inhalation.
Through inhalation.
Breathing
yes, in
in
a dry
salt.
room. Yes.
In a room.
Correct.
So I hate to digress here, but so some people have salt walls in their bathroom, and it's like really pretty colors with lights behind it. That doesn't do what your salt facility did, correct?
No.
You had pulverized salt pumped into the room along with salt walls.
Correct. Yes.
That were heated, right?
Yes.
This blows my mind. And to like jump forward here, when COVID happened, the first thing that they said here in South Florida was don't go to the beach.
Correct.
And I remember thinking to myself, because I had looked into this salt therapy before, like, well, that doesn't seem to make sense, because saltwater air is so good for your lungs.
Yes.
And like scrubbing the cilia, if that's the right term,
Yep.
in your lungs. Why would they not want us to go to the beach? Obviously, there's all sorts of other reasons.
Correct.
But I think that's an awesome concept.
And I thought it was going to help us go above water, at least get our business above water, because now everybody's going to be health conscious.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
But pretty much, long story short, with the company that we used to sell, we were doing over $50,000 a month with them. And they were questioning us, a multi-million-dollar company, questioning a wholesaler. You're selling too much of my product. How are you selling? It should be thank you,
Interesting.
And come to find out, they started questioning us, how we're selling so much, who we're selling to, and I'm like, I'm selling to the public. I sell to people who walk through my door.
Yeah.
I have it advertised in my bathroom. I have it on my car. I have it on I have it everywhere.
Yeah, you lived and breathed it.
I lived and breathed it night, day, all day long.
This is another product, not
Poseidon's
Poseidon.
Botanicals.
This is the one you came across in Miami.
Yes.
Okay.
And they pretty much cut us off two of the highest strengths and left us with the weakest. And I have people who we've built a trust. We've built our image with these customers and clients. And these people use this for medicine. You're taking away medicine from the people who need it. And I'm going to carry your product. I told my dad, I says, Dad, I think we can do better. It's going to be rough the first couple of years, but if we're doing $50K a month with a well-known company, let's do our own.
Yeah.
And we can monitor it, make sure the quality control is there, because it was starting to wean off. I had people coming in getting high off of CBD oil, and that can't be.
Ah, interesting.
And I had 2 FBI agents come into my store. I shit my pants a little bit. I'm like, these 2 big tall guys in black suits with sunglasses. They look really mean, like they're really nice guys, but they showed up on a drug test. And for FBI agents, they can't show up with any of that in their system. So once again, that's another reason why.
So wait a minute, FBI agents were your customers.
Yes, I have 2 FBI agents come to my store and purchase.
They were buying CBD.
Correct.
As a way to help with their ailments.
Yes.
But they popped for THC.
Correct.
Oh, not good.
And CBD, even a broad spectrum, should not carry any trace whatsoever.
Correct.
And that's it's unfortunate. Nobody should have to, be penalized for
they could lose their jobs,
and they
their
could lose
career.
their job, and you know, they worked very hard to get to where they are, and to have something as a CBD oil do that, I don't want a part of that.
Well, and you know, they're not going to the manufacturer. They're
No.
coming to the guy who sold it to them.
Correct.
Because
Yes.
you're the human interaction there.
Correct.
And you're saying, oh, this is great. Take this. So they come straight to you. What
Yeah.
did you have me take, buddy? And you're going to be, you know, at that point. So you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute. We need to, if we're going to be fronting a product, we need to be fronting a product that we can stand behind.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why how Poseidon's Botanicals became Poseidon's Botanicals.
Yeah, I love that.
Because not only I don't have to worry about running out of product, I don't have to worry about the quality not being there. I have control of everything, and it's a lot easier than sort of. I mean, when I say easy, being an entrepreneur is not always easy, but you know, at least I can trust the people who I work with versus people who I'm buying from.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yet Poseidon's Botanicals was born December 2019, on December 14th. We just recently had our second year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank
you guys
you.
have come a long way.
We have. We started with 3 products in the very beginning.
Yeah. What were those first 3 products?
It was our joint muscle cream, our Neptune's body butter, which I actually brought.
Which you still is a very popular product.
Very popular product, great for all different types of skin elements. And we have a face serum, Oceanus face serum.
Interesting.
And once again, all made with natural organic
That's what you
ingredients.
started with?
Yes. Yep.
So the cream,
just the body butter and the face serum is what we started off with, just to see.
You did not start with ingestibles. Interesting.
We just started with 3 products just to see what the take would be.
Yeah.
And people were very receptive to it because most of the customers were the reoccurring customers from the other company.
Yep.
And they like, oh, well, we trust these guys, you know, and you know, like I said before, there's good and bad money, and we're all in it for the good.
Absolutely. So you started with three products.
Mm-hmm.
How many SKUs do you have now? How many different products do you have? 34. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Delta 8 drops.
Yes.
Those are a huge fan favorite here at Hakuna. We add them into our drink that's called the Woodstock, and people can't get enough of it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then the gummies is the other product that we carry of yours. But you have a couple other drops that are also wildly successful and very well received. What are those?
We have the
Happy Mellow.
We have a Happy Mellow, and they're all 3 of these are water solubles, so they work on a cellular level throughout our body. Quicker absorption rate, better bioavailability. You could add it to any liquid beverage of your choice. You can even bake with it.
Oh, that's cool.
We have our Happy Mellow, which is a unique mixture. It was actually our first water soluble that we released, and the whole idea was born in a kava bar.
Really?
Because we overheard a gentleman complaining about his $4 CBD shot sitting at the surface of his kava shell.
Getting caught in his mustache, caught on the shell. It's oil, so it sits at the surface, and it doesn't get into the drink.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was like, well, maybe this could be an opportunity for us to sort of, you know, be a little bit different from all the other companies. And I called our facility, and I called our lab technicians, and I said, hey, guys, this is what I need.
Yeah.
They were able to produce it, and it's been very successful in most places that we have it. Specifically the kava bars.
Absolutely.
Just because.
How many kava bars are your products in now? Off the top of your head?
I believe like 22.
22. The list of kava bars that have decided to bring on your products is unbelievable. You've pretty much become an industry standard in our market here for CBD and Delta 8 products. And it's because you and your dad are incredible gentlemen, and
Thank
your
you.
product speaks for itself as well. I think you guys have done an amazing thing here, and I'm honored to be carrying your products and to call you a friend, man.
Thank you.
I know that you're very into, and maybe that's not the best way to say it, alternative therapeutics or healing methods. You've told me about one specifically that you've done where they like burned your arm 3 times.
Yes.
Will you talk about that?
Sure.
What that was and what that experience is called, what it was like?
Sure, absolutely. So I've done a couple different, what most people would think is crazy and like out of this world. Like, why would you do this?
I think that was my initial response. Wait, what?
So it's something that's been around for thousands of years. I mean, our ancestors have done it. But basically, the first time when I told you it's what I've done is it's called combo.
Okay,
And
what is it?
Combo.
Spell it for me.
I believe it's spelled Kambo.
Okay, combo.
Yes, it's a secretion that comes from the Amazonian frog. It's also known as the monkey frog. The frog is not harmed in any shape or form during, when they're taking the excretion off. I make sure of that because I love animals and, I don't want any animals hurt.
Absolutely.
If I'm going to be doing anything. But basically, what they do is they take like an incense and they get it hot and they blow it out and they burn you. Now, certain people require a certain amount of burns. Me specifically, I required 3 due to my feminine energy that needed to be balanced.
Interesting. My wife tells me I have too much feminine energy.
My feminine energy is on my left side. So she did it on my left side. And I actually recently, not last weekend, but the following weekend, I did my 2nd round.
Oh, really?
And then she did my chakras. But I'll talk about that another time. But basically, she'll burn you a couple times, take off the dead skin that was burnt, and she's gonna lay the secretion, or he, the shaman, is gonna lay the secretion on there. Now, combo, there's purging involved. So purging either throwing up, and or some people it comes out the other end, depending on.
I've heard about this with ayahuasca also.
Yes, it's almost like ayahuasca. A little bit different though.
Right.
Combo works on our nervous system.
Okay.
So it's been known to help with reversing AIDS and all these different types of things, stomach diseases, all different types of health and wellness or health conditions.
Okay.
It is a very intense for me because I'm very sensitive to certain things. But I experienced, there's a little bit of some people will feel like some throat swelling. What that means is basically combo is like a scanner. It scans your whole entire body from head to toe, and sometimes you can feel it if you're aware with your body.
Yep.
And basically it will pinpoint where it needs to work on. So for instance, I felt like my heart rate, up, like it was going faster than normal, and that's a normal side effect. Sweating, a little bit of, how sometimes if you sit on your hands or you sit on your foot too long, it almost goes numb.
Numbness.
Yeah, sometimes you'll feel that. Then just everything just. And when I say when you start throwing up, it's not like an upset stomach, like you're just like, oh, like kill me now, like this is not. It's actually a different type of like purge.
Okay. It's not like convulsive, unpleasant.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean it's not. Purging is never fun, but
Right.
this is more of a cleanse. Things that are no longer serving you. It helps with the here and now. Dealing with the things. So combo can help bring forth things that are, either underlying, that is hindering you. Some things occur. I had some very enlightening ideas and why I am where I am today, and just weird epiphanies and things like that.
Would you consider it to be a psychedelic experience?
I wouldn't say psychedelic. Maybe because it's a very, I don't even know how to describe the feeling when you're going through the ceremony.
Yeah.
It's I guess it's for some people and some not, I guess. But you know, I wouldn't say it's so psychedelic. I'd say it very, very mild.
Okay.
It's very quick. It's not, you know.
Now, are you instructed to not eat for 24 hours?
It's about 12 hours.
12
no
hours,
drinking,
and
no
then
eating.
Do you intake a lot of water so you have something to purge?
Yes. So what happens is when you get to your ceremony, you know, she's gonna, you know, first sage you off, say a blessing, call in the combo spirits, as well as she excuse me, where were we going with this? Brain fart.
No, that's okay. Well, the side note, have you tried this?
No, I have not.
This is called Neuro Gum. It's like one of my favorites. It's got nootropics in it. It's got a vitamin B12, B6, L-theanine, which L-theanine is like anti-angst, anti-anxiety, and some natural caffeines. It's delicious. A full dose is actually 2 pieces of gum, and it really helps me with quick recollection and stuff.
Okay.
A little off topic, but I always bring it and.
No, thank you.
And we have it
Tastes
available
very
here
good.
at Hakuna. Oh, it's delicious, and you can chew it for like hours, and it helps make me super sharp, even though, you know, I need a lot of help, trust me.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so you go, I asked about drinking water.
Drinking the water, yes.
Yep.
So she'll have you drink about 4 glasses
Okay.
back to back.
Okay, so you are taking in a lot of water.
Right
so you have
before
something
she
to purge.
lays the secretions on. So that way there's something in your stomach. You're not going to be like dry heaving, which is the worst. And basically what's going to come up, and everybody's purging is different. Like mine, for instance, I've never seen stomach acid so neon green and yellow in my whole entire life. It looks like there's a black light on it. So there's impurities that are still in my system that I believe from the medications that I used to take. And it's another reason why I'm doing it, is just to cleanse my body so I can have a clean system, so I can serve others on a better basis.
It's unbelievable. So the intention with the whole thing is to purge your body of toxins.
Correct.
Yes,
and other things, you know, if you know, other elements,
other things that are weighing you down.
Correct.
And you left this experience feeling how?
Very grounded. My intuition's been a lot stronger, so I've been able to sort of like call things that are going to happen.
Yep.
I'm more intuitive with my body, so going with my gut with decisions.
Yep.
More so than prior. It's been an amazing experience, and I recommend it to anybody who's open to it, but definitely do your, hop online, do some research,
It's called combo.
And make sure that, I can't stress this enough because I've been looking to do this for quite some time, almost 10 years. Make sure that you find the right shaman.
Maybe if anybody listening or watching is interested, they could reach out to you.
Yes,
and you could help them through that process.
I could guide them into the right direction.
Is Instagram the best way to do that?
Sure, yes.
Your
that'd be great.
Instagram is Poseidons_botanicals?
Correct, yes.
Awesome. I would try to spell it, but I butcher it every time. Is it E before I or I before E?
Poseidons.
EIDONS_botanicals. Poseidon's Botanicals.
Yes, just like the Roman god.
Yeah, absolutely. So reach out to John for that and all other things. Another cool experience that I know you've done recently is the Date with Destiny.
The UPW, actually.
So it wasn't Date with Destiny.
No.
It was a different Tony Robbins experience,
yes,
which was right around the corner here. This is Tony Robbins country.
You got
goosebumps thinking about it. I remember you were mentioning that you were potentially going to go.
Correct.
You had opportunity to get tickets, and I said, "What? You've never seen Date with Destiny?" And you're like, "No, I haven't seen it." So we put it on Netflix, and we're all sitting here crying in the middle of the bar, and you're like, "I'm fucking going to this." Right? And then it was wild. That night, a bunch of the crew would walk from there that weekend, and they would walk by our bar here, and they were walking to their hotel. And I got a chance to talk to a few of them, and we ran into a few other people who were there. Some people say that Tony Robbins is like a little too much for them. I think it's people who are not willing to face
reality or
how their actions and behaviors are shaping their world.
Correct.
A lot of times people see him talking and they're like, oh, that whatever, that's well, it's because they're not ready to face reality. You know, I think the guy's got it dialed in. I think that he's incredibly motivational. What was your experience like with Date with Destiny? And before you start, just we're getting a little busier downstairs, so just do your best to project right into the mic.
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. No worries. So the UPW, the Unleash the Power Within, was amazing. I was very hesitant on it just because I didn't know what I was getting myself into at all. I was going into this completely blind. So that being said, I'm like, I've walked into life blind, and so many blessings have come into my life because of it. So I just jumped right in. Right after we got done, I'm like, this is it. Like, yeah. I need to do this. Now that I got sort of like a sneak preview, like now I know that this is something that I need to do for myself. And I tried to get my dad to go with me, but that didn't happen. But that's okay. It was a 4-day event here in West Palm Beach.
How many people? 10,000 people?
I was surrounded by 25,000 people from 47 different countries. All around the world. I was like, wow, like, who is this guy? Like, I know he's on TV, he's on Netflix, but who is this guy? And
I'm going to have you slide to the right. Just there you go.
Basically, this whole last year, this past, 2021, I've been doing a lot of self-development, and this was the icing on the cake. I learned a lot about myself, some limiting beliefs that have been holding me back from doing and providing the service that I'm more than capable of rendering. A lot of eye-opening, experiences, mental training, games that so for instance, like every morning since November 10th, I've been doing priming. Every morning I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I get myself ready for the day, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And to be honest,
excuse me 1 second, John.
Hey, babe. Can you just be mindful of the volume level? That's okay. Hi, guys. How are you?
Sorry, John.
No worries. I'm trying to think where I left off.
So you've been doing a lot of self-development. You went to Tony Robbins, and
yes.
Your experience at Tony Robbins was?
It was amazing. I'm a totally different person. I walked on fire, barefoot, 25+ degree coals.
You did that?
I did that barefoot, and I had no burns on the bottom of my feet. Some other people did, but basically, if you can walk on fire, you could do anything in life. And it's just showing you how strong your mind is, and how I've been caught in my head for so many years, and it has stopped me from doing what John wants to do. Stopped me because I was told I would never be able to drive. I would never be able to live on my own. I would never be
That's
so many
just crazy
things.
To me, man.
And I'm running a business. Yeah. I have a car. I've been proving people wrong without even knowing, and so many things were brought up to the surface from this event that now I'm ready to hit my life and change it so I can provide for my family, my friends. I want to create like generational wealth. For create nonprofit organizations for families and people who are sick, and provide them food, shelter, obviously medicine, preferably plant medicine.
Yeah, absolutely. These are all goals.
These
of
are
yours.
just goals that now I have that I've had in the past, but it hasn't been a burning desire.
Yeah.
Now I'm ready to, get this going and, build my life because I'm the author of it.
It's so wild, man. Going back to the walking on fire thing, to me, mind over matter is such a powerful principle that a lot of us don't realize is reality. I like to say often, or I've heard it before, what you think and what you say you create.
Correct.
And a lot of people psych themselves out before they even get started with "I can't." Another great phrase is whether you say you can or you can't, either way, you are right. So if you say "I can't walk on fire," you're right. You can't, you won't. But if you say "I can walk on fire,"
Yes.
and I will walk on fire, then you will.
Yep.
You know? And I think it's just an amazing thing about the human, experience that, life is what you make it. And if you take it on with an attitude of "I'm going to do this and nothing's going to stop me," then you can walk on fire, you know? And I'm sure it was for you,
Yeah,
wildly eye-opening.
It was wild. I mean, my friend told me I was walking on fire. I'm thinking like a little sheet, a cooking pan with some tin foil on it, and I'm gonna just take one step on it. 15 feet.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, I felt the heat, and I'm like, oh snap! Like this is happening. Like this is hot, and I just did it. I'm like, whoa.
This was at the Tony Robbins thing?
Yes.
That's crazy.
And it was nuts. I after I walked across, I'm like, wow. Like everything I used to complain about, is no longer a complaint. It's now a goal.
Oh yeah.
Because complaining about walking across fire, I did it anyways.
That's right.
So it was just an amazing experience. Tony Robbins, I thank him, every single day for, coming to West Palm Beach, because I think that I would have still been stuck in my old ways, my old thinking habits, my own old ways of being. It's very interesting, and I recommend anybody to go. If they have the opportunity and the chance.
I'm going to try to go next year.
It's worth every dime and penny.
He lives right here on the island.
Oh, yeah.
He lives right here.
Right
So
here
this
in
is
West
Tony
Palm
Robbins
Beach.
country, man.
We're breathing the same air.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's brilliant. If a lot of people may not know in this new generation who Tony Robbins is, I suggest looking him up. He's got an awesome Netflix documentary called "I Am Not Your Guru."
Correct.
And it's a documentary of his date with Destiny that they did. I think the last one that they did on the documentary is in Boca, but yours was done right here at the West Palm Beach Convention Center.
Yes.
Super cool. Well, what is on the horizon for Poseidon Botanicals? What can we expect to see in the future, or what is there that needs to be kind of known about what you guys have going on?
We have a lot of goals. We really want to get into more health facilities. We're actually in one of the world's biggest health institutes in the United States, especially here in West Palm Beach in South Florida. It's Hippocrates Health Institute. Dr. Brian Clement has been with us since actually COVID. He actually placed his order during COVID.
Really?
Which I was very surprised. I wasn't expecting nobody to spend any money during COVID.
Yeah.
But he really liked our product, and we've been with him. So, I'm planning on getting into I believe, 8 other health institutes that are around.
That'll be huge.
And we're looking to come out with some more products. Obviously, all these other companies are dealing with like the THCVOs and things like that. We really don't want to deal with it because it's a synthetic. But we're going to be coming out with some new cartridges, some new products this year. I'll give a little sneak peek. We're going to do some hybrids with some of our cartridges, so then people can have an array of choices, because we have our sativa, our indica, blends. But there's not many people that do the hybrid, and I think that will make us stand out a little bit different from all the companies that are out there. And we're just trying to get our name out there, let everybody know that who we are, what we're about, and that it's quality over quantity. We don't believe in providing mass quantity of a whole bunch of stuff. Because what happens is things can happen to the product as it's getting made in mass quantity. It could may not be the same concentration and things like that. So yeah, we're gonna be coming out with some pretty cool stuff.
It's awesome, dude.
Some bath bombs.
Another one of my favorites are your pre-rolls.
Yes.
I love a pre-roll because it just the ability to just pop the top and smoke is freaking great.
Yep.
And again, my experience has been recently over the past couple of years with marijuana, smoking marijuana, that I get like these schizophrenic, paranoid episodes where if I had smoked regular THC with you right now, I would think that you sitting down with me was really a distraction from you trying to kill me, and that you were sent here to kill me. And that is, you know, it's an admission that I'm willing to make because I think it's something that should be taken seriously. I've been smoking pot since I was 11 years old. I'll be 36 next month. I never thought that I would not smoke marijuana until I got about 32, and I had some debilitating experiences in my 20s, but I didn't associate it with marijuana. Looking back, it was from heavy marijuana use that I would have these panic attacks that it felt like I was dying. So I would go to the hospital. And looking back, it was always marijuana-induced and probably terrible diet as well, and being prone to having panic attacks.
Yes.
I also had a friend 2 years ago offer me a dab of like a distillate in a rig and a bong or whatever. So we go out to his truck. He takes this heaping scoop. My wife is like, whoa, he doesn't need all that. So he takes like the smallest amount off of the heaping scoop. And for some reason, I think I then need to prove myself and clear the whole rig. Instantly, I have this feeling of like, oh, that probably was too much. Well, this triggered this was the benefit of it. I had this awakening in the first 6 minutes that I was wasting my time with my life. I wasn't taking advantage of the gift of life that I had been given, and that I was so far behind that I needed to fucking get my shit together. And mind you, I was doing pretty well, married and business, but I was like, I'm fucking up. That was a great awakening, but then also triggered a massive panic attack that my heart was literally beating out of my chest. I told my wife to call the ambulance, and she didn't. She almost did, but she just like helped calm me down. And then for the next 5 hours, I felt like I was in a parallel universe. I felt like I was experiencing the world 2 inches up and 2 inches over from anything I had ever seen. And I had convinced myself that I was never going to come back from that. You know, so I say that to say this, that at that point I decided marijuana is no longer for me. That was terrifying. I also did change my life and my approach. So there was a benefit I got out of it. It wasn't till I came across your Delta 8 products that I had been hearing Delta 8 from friends, and they would have like the pen, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. It's too much of a downside potential for me. I think what happened is my wife dosed me. She put Delta 8 water-soluble drops in my drink. And then an hour and a half later was like, how do you feel? I'm like, I feel really good. I feel super creative. I don't know. I feel kind of stoned. She's like, I put Delta 8 in your drink. I'm like, well, that was really fucked up, but also pretty awesome because it pushed me it made me realize there was something that I could take. Because marijuana for me is a catalyst for creativity. It always has been in songwriting for me. It made me realize that I could still have that without the deep paranoia and fear and anxiety and inability to socialize. So now I am a regular taker of the Delta 8 gummies. That's usually my go-to because it's very easy for me to control my dosage. I just bite half a gummy. I see how I feel in about 40 minutes, and then I'll eat the other one. I do the drops sometimes when the gummies aren't around. But again, man, I thank you for bringing these products to us. If anybody listening out there has had similar experiences where marijuana is just too much for them, I highly suggest reaching out to us or reaching out to John and trying some of the Delta 8 products. Sorry, we have a kennel downstairs. And trying some of the products because they can be life-changing, man.
Yes,
it's
they can.
Absolutely
just
amazing.
Be open-minded to it, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call Blake or myself.
Yeah.
We're here to help and guide you. We're not here to, try to make you feel any type of way that you don't want to feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to give you exactly what you're looking for.
Well, John, I think you're an amazing young man. Your story is very inspiring. You're incredibly intelligent, and you know what you're talking about. And I appreciate you very much. And to everybody listening, what we ask is when you go to a head shop or a kava bar, please ask for Poseidon Botanicals.
Yes.
Poseidon's Botanicals by name. Ask for it by name. If they don't carry the product, direct them to John, because they should be carrying the product. And I think that every little bit helps. So, and if you can't find it in your area, reach out to us. We'll ship it to you. It is just a total game changer.
Yes.
John, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you,
I
Blake.
love you, man.
Love
and
you too, man.
keep up the grind, and let's continue this conversation in the future.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to.
Cool. Again, if anybody wants to reach out to John or his father, it will be through their Instagram page. That is Poseidon's, Poseidons _ Botanicals, Botanicals, Poseidon's Botanicals on Instagram. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you, Blake.
Absolutely, brother. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Boolah.
Boolah.
Great job, buddy.
Nice, dude. Oh, you're good. You're good.